Hey, what's up, guys? Joe Madden here for Picks and Parlays, coming at you with some college football action for Saturday night, 7:30 Eastern. We'll see the kickoff between Kentucky and Auburn. Now, Auburn is rolling in here as 11.5 point favorite. We're seeing that total sitting low at 44.5, but is it low enough? Auburn enters this one 4-4 on the season, 1-4 in SEC play. They're coming off a nice win over Arkansas in their last game out, 33-24, in which we did see Ashton Daniels as the quarterback. Now, still question marks around who will be the starting quarterback in this one. We are seeing Jackson Arnold may be coming out. Now, he's interception prone, you guys. That does give me fear here for Auburn, especially when we did see Daniels be able to move that ball with some nice rhythm for Auburn last week. When we look at Kentucky entering this one 0-2 out there on the road, 0-2 against the spread on the road as well, and only 2-5 on the season. They've lost their last 4 games. Last week's loss versus Tennessee was a 56-34 loss, and it definitely hurt, but this team isn't giving up. They're going to come out here and they're going to look to really play a strong game versus Auburn. Now, I do think Kentucky will need to lean on a strong defensive game in this one. We know over the slide they've been giving up an average of 42.5 points per game during this 4-game losing streak. They're going to need to really bring it in this one, because if we do see Daniels out there, I'm not worried about him throwing those interceptions. Jackson Arnold may if he ends up being under center, but I do think either way the secondary will be tested here of Kentucky. Kentucky will need to bring that strength in their secondary, and they're also going to need to shut down the running game here of Auburn, which I think will come into play. When we look at the running back, Jeremiah Cobb of Auburn, you look at what he was able to do last week, running for 153 yards on 28 carries. That was his 4th straight game going over 100 yards. So I'm expecting him to use his legs again. Then they do get their running back, Darrell Robinson, back into the lineup. He is a clear threat out there, and with the strength in the backfield between Cobb and Robinson, I do think Auburn has the ability to not only win but cover the spread. I think early, though, is where you want to look at Kentucky. We got a first half spread of 6.5, and I think Kentucky plus a 6.5 in the first half is the way that I'd play this one out. I'm expecting Kentucky to stay competitive in the first half of this game, so I will grab them plus the 6.5. Now, at that point, with them staying competitive, I do think you're going to get a better number here on Auburn. I'm more comfortable laying 8.5, 9 points with Auburn than I really am laying the 11.5. So I do think this is a perfect live betting situation. If Jackson Arnold comes out here, I will be taking him for that anytime INT, but I do think you look at Daniels here, you look at his strength, and I do think he could come out nice and strong in this matchup and really get some nice deep balls down the field. I'll be looking at his longest pass completion to the over. I'll be looking at his passing props to the over as well, even though I do think Kentucky can bring it defensively. They can make a step up. We know that this is normally a defensive-minded team, even though we haven't seen that strength out of them this season. I do think that will come to play in this matchup here versus Auburn. We're going to see the defense with improvements in this game. So be careful here with those touchdown props, because I do think this is a game that stays under the 44.5, and in one where we see us hit the high 30s for a total at most, unless Jackson Arnold comes out and we get the defensive touchdown. We see the pick 6 in this one, you guys, and that total probably is blown. The home field advantage is huge here for Auburn, and we know this is an aggressive defense out of them as well. With how aggressive Auburn's defense is, I do think they're going to shut down freshman quarterback Cutter Boyd's ability to throw that ball deep on their secondary. I think they do get to him and they put that pressure on him, forcing those turnovers, forcing those interceptions, even though he has been able to, over the last couple of weeks, throw for 588 yards and 5 passing touchdowns. So in this one, you guys, I got to roll with the under 44.5. I look at the pace of play both of these teams play at. I do think it's going to be a slower paced game led by the running backs here of both of these teams. Now, the lack of explosiveness down the field also comes into play when I'm looking at this total of 44.5. I'm expecting us to hit into the high 30s at most. Now, I will look at Kentucky plus the 6.5 in the first half, hoping then to get a better live number here for Auburn. Again, I want to lay 8.5 points with them. I do think they can win this by 2 scores, but that's a field goal and a tutty, not 2 touchdowns. So I would lay up to 8.5 points with Auburn with live numbers once this game is in play, as I do think Auburn pulls away late. But you guys, if you're looking for the best plays from the handicappers of picks and parlays, make sure you do head on over to picksandparlays.net. Over there, you'll find a lot of different packages for these handicappers. One of those being the Weekend Warrior. If you're looking for the football plays from your handicapper of choice on Saturday and Sunday, you can grab those for only $49 for both days. And as an added bonus, they're going to throw in those plays for Monday at no extra cost. And then if you're looking for more than just football, there's so much going on, you guys. You know, NBA, you know, college basketball, NHL, tons, UFC. You can get it all over on Picks and Parlays for just $8.30 a day. That's a handicapper of your choices. Best bets for the rest of 2025 for just $8.30 a day. And it's kind of embarrassing when I say my daily Starbucks costs more. So you guys head on over to picksandparlays.net to grab the best bets from the handicappers of Picks and Parlays. You don't want to miss out on everything that they've got going for their best bets. You can check out the leaderboards there. And then make sure you do me a favor here to keep these free videos up and rolling. Hit that like button, hit that notification button so you know when they come out so you can get the best of the lines, and hit that subscribe button over here on YouTube. It really does help those algorithms. Let's push this out. Share it with a friend. Let them know everything we got going over here on Picks and Parlays. But you guys, all the best in all of your bets. Again, thank you so much for joining me here on YouTube. Hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Until then, stay hot. Let's make some freaking money.